Hi, this is Jackie Hartman. I'm the Director of Operations for Tennessee Achieves. Thank you for joining today. We hear from our mentors all the time that they want to know more information about the process for applying to college and everything that you're helping your students with. We try to make our mentor trainings as quick as possible, so this is our way of getting more information to you guys as mentors so you're able to help your students better. So we have a few representatives from the TCATs and the community colleges here to tell you everything they know and answer your questions. So again, thank you for coming, and this will be available on our website later this week.
So we'll just go ahead and get started. Thank you again for being here.
Hello. This is going to be a review of the admissions processes at the community colleges across the state of Tennessee. Today we'll go over a few points around admissions and talk about the timelines to getting ready for registration, as well as some of the required documents needed to make sure that your admissions process flows as smooth as possible. Next slide, please. As a general overview for this quick presentation, again, this is information related to our 13 institutions across the state, or our 13 community colleges. We will talk about first the academic options available to your students. Second, we'll go over the timeline to registration. So this admissions process is really about getting students ready to register for their classes, which is a very important and essential point in their experience in higher education. Second, we'll go over third, we'll go over the documents required for admissions. And finally, some important deadlines and communication information to help you inform your students of what's required and the support services that they will have available during the admissions process. Next slide. Before your student begins to fill out the application, it's important to understand first what are their goals for going to a community college. Community colleges are typically broken into two major paths. The first path, which many are familiar with, is the career pathway. This involves programs related to workforce. So if your student wants to go to a community college for a year or 2 years and complete a certificate or a degree and go directly into the workforce and get a job, they're looking for the career pathway choices. Those would typically be under what we call the Associate of Applied Science, along with technical certificates. So things such as dental hygiene, mechatronics, which is a big piece of advanced manufacturing right now, all of your allied health fields, including nursing and some areas of logistics and supply chain, are available at all 13 institutions to have these types of workforce programs for our students to take part in and get out quickly and get into a job. The second pathway deals with transfer to a four-year institution. So typically across the 13 institutions, it's about half and half of our student body. Some are going for workforce programs, but the majority of them are going over to the transfer pathway. The major two primary associate degrees in this area are going to be the Associate of Arts and the Associate of Science. However, we do have an Associate of Fine Arts in some of our institutions, as well as an Associate of Science in Teaching at a few institutions in the community college system. So again, there are two major pathways that your students should think about. Do I want to come out and get a job immediately, or do I want to transfer to a four-year institution and get a bachelor's degree? Once they make that decision, it becomes easier for them to fill out the application and get on the right path to completion. Next slide, please. As you'll see, again, the career pathways are related to workforce programs. EMTs and paramedics are a popular choice among our students, along with nursing. We also have some great programs in advanced manufacturing, along with logistics and areas related to production. And so that's part of the mission for the community colleges, is to provide workforce programs to our students that can come in for a year to 2 years and complete their degree and go directly into the workforce. It is important to note that these programs, when you enter, they are not designed for transfer. So if a student decides first to go into a career pathway and changes his or her mind to go into a transfer pathway as opposed to a career pathway, those classes may not translate into being transferred over to a four-year institution. So again, it's very important that they make that decision early on of what they really want to do when they come to a community college. And this will impact how they get through the system in their journey at a community college. Next slide, please. The legislature has made it a lot easier for the pathways for transfer to take place. There have often been rumors that many of the courses will not transfer to a four-year institution. However, we have established some clear pathways between the community colleges and the universities based on particular majors. If you have students that are interested in going to a university from a community college, I recommend that you encourage them or together with your mentees, visit the Tennessee Transfer Pathway website, and you'll see the web address up above in the top right. This will give you an idea of the types of majors that have been articulated between the community colleges and the universities, and it will give you a clear path of the courses that that student should take before getting ready to transfer to the four-year institution. And you can sort and select by different areas, including by campus and what pathways are established at which community colleges. And again, this is a useful resource and an essential resource for those students preparing to go to a four-year institution to get a bachelor's degree. Next slide, please. For the admissions timeline, there are a few points to note for your students. As set in Tennessee Promise rules, the FAFSA deadline is the 15th of February. Also, it's encouraged that students fill out that application by the 15th of February. It's not a set timeline for eligibility, but it is a suggested date that would make the process a lot easier for the students. So if possible, the 15th of February is an ideal date for students to go ahead and fill that application to begin receiving information about their enrollment. Also, the 13th of March is the deadline for the April ACT test. That is the last test of the spring is in April, and so if students have not taken their ACT, we encourage them to register by the 13th of March to be eligible to take the April ACT test. Also, your high school transcripts or the high school transcripts from the students will be required from after application. We know that they have to complete graduation, which normally takes place in May and early June. As soon as that graduation takes place, it's important that the students send those transcripts or have those transcripts sent to the appropriate community college. It helps in the processing of their paperwork and understanding how we will handle placement of that student. As you all are aware, the 1st of August is the deadline for community service. That is also important for the registration piece of this process for your students to get enrolled, and those who do not make that deadline will be removed from the roster. So the quicker that you can get away from that deadline and have them complete their community service before the 1st of August, the better. We also encourage that the students consult the program handbook that's available at each institution. The handbook contains all of the information about students' rights, what's available to the student, and procedures and guidelines for how they can go through certain processes for admissions and everything else while they're in their journey at a community college. And finally, we ask that the mentors and the mentees review the campus calendar, which has even more specific deadlines and dates related to admissions and enrollment. Each community college has that on their website, and it's available for you to print out so that you can make sure that you're not missing any deadlines that are essential for being ready to register. Next slide, please. For the application and for admissions, there are a few required documents that are standard across the 13 institutions. Obviously, we want you to fill out the application for enrollment. Second, as we discussed about the high school transcript, that final high school transcript should be submitted hopefully by the end of June to improve with the processing and speed things up. ACT and SAT scores are required to be submitted to an institution. As your students begin to take the ACT or SAT, they can designate a community college that they want those scores to be sent to, and it's automatically sent once those scores are tabulated by the test takers. We also require a proof of citizenship, U.S. citizenship, so you can do that with a ID, a driver's license, or social security card. Different forms of ID are acceptable, and you can go on each campus's website to find out what's acceptable and what's not acceptable for proof of U.S. citizenship. But that is a required document for admissions. For those students who are taking the GED or the high set, that's acceptable as well, but you have to submit those test scores to the institution. So if your students have taken the GED and that's the way that they will enter into the community college, please make sure that they provide that information to the appropriate institution. Immunization records are also required. So for your students that are preparing to enroll and apply, it's important that they get their immunization records compiled to be able to send to the institutions to get cleared for registration. Also, for only the males, selective service is a requirement, and that's a question on each application that you'll see across our 13 community colleges. So for those males that are 18, it is required that they fill out the selective service information with the federal government. And finally, there are a few institutions, not all, that require an application fee. So when they begin to fill out their application, many institutions will require a payment for that application fee, a small fee, but that fee, unless paid, will not be processed. So it's important to ensure that if there's an application fee required for your students, that they pay that fee to ensure that the processing can take place. Next slide, please. There are a few ways that the colleges will communicate with students and help them, inform them about the processes for enrollment and what they will encounter during their journey at the community college. I've heard news so far that there are a few mentors and mentees that have done college tours at the community colleges, and I encourage you all to encourage your students to take a campus tour of the institutions they're interested in. You can simply call the admissions office, which will have numbers and email addresses later in this slide presentation, and find out when they will have campus tours to make sure that the students can take part in that and ask questions of the recruiters about what they're getting themselves into when they attend a community college. All of the community colleges have a social media presence, and for your students who are into Facebook or Twitter, this is a good resource for them to stay connected to the institution to find out what's going on. The institutions and the community colleges will normally send out information about deadlines and other types of communication pieces through social media to make sure that students are informed and aware of what's going on campus. It's important to have the phone contacts for all the different offices at the community colleges. Again, at the end of this slide, I will provide the admissions contact, but please be sure to get all of their resource contact numbers at the community colleges for your students, or have them pull that information to make sure they have it, just in case there are any problems during their process. There are web resources available, so what I'm providing you is really a general summary of what goes on at the community colleges for admissions, but I encourage all to go directly to the website to find all of the resources that have questions and answers and other documents to help the students navigate this first step in enrolling at a community college. It's also important that students learn to begin to check email. Email is not necessarily the most popular form of communication for a lot of our younger students. They prefer to text or use social media, but a lot of the official communication will come directly from email. So as soon as a student applies to a community college, most will receive an email from the campus, so they will have their campus email and an account. That email will serve as a place where the institution will send information, whether it be missing documents or upcoming dates and deadlines that they need to be aware of. So please encourage those students to partake in the email and make good use of the campus email when they receive their account. And this is one of the first steps that we use to really sort of educate students about the processes within higher education, which sometimes can be challenging for them. On that note, it's always important that once the student gets their email account and an account with a community college, that they begin to check their student accounts, which will give them added information specific to their particular issues or needs, whether it be updates on missing documents or verification that they have received documents or decisions about admissions approval or clearance for other areas of the process for enrollment and registration. Next slide, please. Finally, this is a list of the 13 community colleges and numbers and some email addresses where you can communicate with the admissions office. I highly recommend that you write this down and have it for your mentees to keep handy just in case they have questions when they get ready to apply. But this is essentially the direct numbers and email addresses for these offices to begin to help those students get through the admissions process. I didn't introduce myself at the beginning of this presentation, but my name is Kenyatta Lovett. I work at the Tennessee Board of Regents in the Office of Community Colleges, and I work with all 13 on their admissions processes. And if you ever have questions related to community colleges that are not specific to an institution, you can definitely contact me at 615-366-3928, and that's 615-366-3928. and I'll do my best to direct you to the resources to help your students get enrolled and registered so they can begin the journey to completing a degree. It's been good to speak with you, and thank you for allowing me the time to present this to you.
I'm Shelley Travis, the Assistant Vice Chancellor for Student Services for the 27 Colleges of Applied Technology. I want to thank all of the mentors that are taking their time to ensure that our students are successful at the TCATs in our community colleges across the state. I appreciate your dedication to this process, and today I'm going to share with you a few things about the admissions process at the Tennessee Colleges of Applied Technology. To just give you a presentation overview for today, we're going to share some general information for the 27 TCATs, program options and awards that are available, important deadlines that your students will need to know about, admissions information, and communication information for our TCATs across the state. At the 27 Tennessee Colleges of Applied Technology, we offer over 60 occupational program options statewide. Our program length varies in the different program options from 4 months to 2 years in length. We are a little different from the community colleges in the regular admissions process that you may be used to, in that we are open entry, open exit, meaning that our students can enroll at any time during a term when there is an opening available in most of our programs. We do have a few exceptions to these in cohort programs in most of our allied health programs across the state, such as practical nursing and surgical technology, and I'll explain those processes to you in just a moment. Students basically choose with the Tennessee Colleges of Applied Technology first their program and whether or not they want to be full-time, day, or evening enrollment, and that is it. Students do not have to sign up for individual courses or make course selections. They simply pick their program and when and what time of day they would like to attend those courses. Across the state, we're very proud of our completion, placement, and licensure pass rate, and you should be too, and feel confident when you are helping your students in their selection of the Tennessee Colleges of Applied Technology. Statewide, our completion rate for those students that enter is 81%. Our placement rate in in-field occupations is 86%, and our licensure pass rate is 94% statewide. I've received several questions from mentors about what are the programs that are offered at the Colleges of Applied Technology, and I'm going to provide you with a few sample offerings of the 60 different occupational programs we have throughout the state. First, in the area of industrial and manufacturing, we have industrial maintenance, machine tool, and welding, to name a few. In architecture and construction, we offer programs such as HVAC, building and construction technology, drafting, and CAD technology. In allied health, we offer programs such as practical nursing, surgical technology, dental assisting, pharmacy technology, and in personal care and human services, we offer programs such as cosmetology, barbering, aesthetics, massage therapy, and early childhood education. In the areas of transportation, we offer programs such as automotive technology, aviation maintenance, and diesel-powered equipment. In information technology and business, we offer administrative office technology, computer information technology, and health information technology. This just shows you the various programs that we offer across the state and opportunities that are available for your students. Also, one difference that you will find at the Tennessee Colleges of Applied Technology is some of our terminology. Tennessee Colleges of Applied Technology do not confer degrees, but rather we confer diplomas and certificates that align with business and industry standards. Diplomas are awarded to students who successfully complete an occupational program which is at least 1 year in length, and certificates are awarded to students who successfully demonstrate competencies for proficiency in occupational programs that are less than 1 year in length. And this will just assist your students in understanding the terminology that may be a little different than what they're used to when they think about coming to college. A few important admissions timelines and deadlines that you need to make sure that your students are aware of is, first of all, much like the community colleges, we have some of the same deadlines. Our FAFSA deadline for all promised students is February 15th. It's fastly approaching. Our application deadline for priority enrollment is February 15th. Students may still be able to receive their promise if they actually fill out an application after this date, but this will assist the students in getting into the program that they are interested in and being able to enroll at the earliest opportunity. In May and in June, after graduation, the students will need to submit a high school transcript or diploma to their Tennessee College of Applied Technology. Their community service deadline is August 1st, the same as with the community colleges, and we encourage students to consult their program and their student handbook at each Tennessee College of Applied Technology for specific timelines and deadlines for specific programs, and also to review campus websites for program-specific deadlines. Most programs will follow this admissions timeline. However, in those cohort programs, such as nursing, that have additional entry requirements, they may have additional deadlines for your students. So please make sure that your students are contacting their local College of Applied Technology. One additional thing that I want to mention when we're looking at admissions for our students with open entry and open exit programs, Promise will be available to students if there is a space in their program beginning July 1st. So students can actually enter within the summer term if there is space available, and they do not have to wait until the fall. The admissions process for Tennessee Promise is, first of all, the students will need to complete the application for enrollment at their local Tennessee College of Applied Technology, and there's no application fee. I think that's very important for your students to know. On that application, they need to make sure to indicate a program of interest, so we'll be able to get them into their program as soon as possible. We encourage all of our students to meet with a counselor and or instructor, and also to take a campus tour. By meeting with a college counselor, if they are unsure of their program area of interest, this will help them in actually selecting that program and making the choice that's best for them. And their instructor can tell them a little bit more about their program and what they can expect when they enter into the workforce. They need to complete the free application for Federal Student Aid or their FAFSA form, submit their high school diploma or transcript, or their GED or HiSET transcript. Submit proof of required immunizations, and schedule any pre-enrollment testing if applicable. Like I mentioned, we do have a few programs at the College of Applied Technology that do require pre-enrollment testing, such as the Compass or ACT, and those are mostly within our allied health programs. So I would encourage your students to contact your local TCAT for any program-specific requirements. As far as special admissions requirements are concerned, some programs, as I've mentioned, may have additional entry requirements. For example, practical nursing, which is a very popular program, is a cohort class. There is a selection process that is required, so you have additional deadlines with the practical nursing program. Practical nursing program and other allied health programs such as surgical technology, some of those are cohort classes. So they have a set start and end date. So the students do enroll in a particular point during the term, and they start with the class and they end with the class. Therefore, it's very important that they know and meet all of the application deadlines for this selection process. Practical nursing has a Compass test score statewide of 80 in reading and 50 in math, or a 19 on all individual areas of the ACT. For additional specific information on this or any other program, please contact your local TCAT. Allied health is one area, but there may be a few additional programs that may have additional requirements due to their certification or licensing agencies. Next steps, after they have completed all of the admissions processes at your local TCAT, after they complete the admissions process, students will be contacted by a TCAT representative regarding their start date, and then they're ready to start their college career. They will establish a start date or an approximate start date as soon as they have completed all of the admissions requirements. For more information about the college application process at a Tennessee College of Applied Technology, please visit the link below on your screen. This link will give you a listing of all of the 27 TCATs, their contact information, and a direct link to their websites so your students can find out more about the program offerings and any requirements of specific programs. And this is my contact information. If you have any additional questions or are unable to contact your local TCAT, please feel free to contact me with any information regarding your students' attendance at the College of Applied Technology. We're excited about the implementation of the promise, and we're ready to serve your students. Thank you again, mentors, for serving the Tennessee Colleges of Applied Technology in such an important role.
College4TN.org today. College. You can get there from here.